Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Hey, have you ever thought about it? How many wonderful people there really still is in this old world? Yes, it's that time of year again. Time to go get some hay for the homestead. So we headed out the other day to go get some hay. Loaded up the F-350 Ford diesel. I call him the Iron Giant. He's a big old hunk of iron. Loaded up this trailer. I guess it's about I don't even know. I'd probably be lying if I told you, but you can see how big the trailer is. So we headed out, found some fellers doing some hay, and let me tell you, everybody and their brother and their aunt and cousin too is baling hay, hauling hay, sacking hay, you name it. It's hay season in southeast Louisiana, and I'm sure all over the world. So anyway, we loaded up, headed out to go get some hay in the Iron Giant. He's our workhorse. And got off down the highway a little piece. And poor old Iron Giant, starting to feel his age. Looked like the radiator was having some problems. It was running a little hot. So we pulled off the road, checked it out. Not really sure if a hose came off or what. So just to show you how wonderful people are, we happened to stop right by a big old registered Black Angus farm out here in the country. So I walked on up to their place and asked them if they mind if we pulled up in their driveway because our truck was overheating and we just wasn't sure what was going on. And the old feller said, "Why sure, get off the road with that truck, honey. Come on up in here and park over here on the side so if anyone comes in or out, you won't be in the way." I said, "Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that." He's like, "If y'all need water or something, there's a hose pipe right there." Looked like it used to have been part of a dairy farm too at one time. You know, have one of those big old hose pipes with the pressure and all that on it. And I was like, "All right, cool. Thank you so much." So of course I go looking around in the truck. We don't drive it very often, so it's not a whole lot of stuff we keep in it. I don't even have a jug in there to get water. Misprepared here. But again, I don't drive that vehicle, so I don't think about it that much. So I walked back up there. The old feller's sitting on his Ranger, texting or doing something. Said he was waiting on a feed order to come in. He's like, "Oh yeah, girl, I got one. Hang on, honey. Let me go find you a jug." So he found a jug, handed it to me, got some water, put it in the radiator, and everything was looking good. It took it about a half hour, 45 minutes to cool off. So in the meantime, my husband called the guy we were getting hay from and said, "Hey, look, we're broke down on the side of the road. Truck's running hot, so we're not really sure what's going on with this thing. But we was coming to get the hay out the field. So I don't know if we're going to be able to make it today. Maybe it'll be tomorrow." He's like, "All right, that's no problem. We'll work something out. You know, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Just do what you got to do and let me know when you're coming." So filled up the Iron Giant with some water, and I noticed it was kind of dribbling back out the bottom of it. And I was like, something's not right. So we called my neighbor. He was coming in on his way home from work. Now, mind you, he's a blessing. He is a senior master Ford certified mechanic, senior master mechanic for Ford. He is like one of 200 in the whole entire southeast region of the United States. So he's pretty well trusted, pretty well known for the work that he does, and his specialty is Fords. Now he has helped other people with other makes and models, but his specialty is working on Fords. So he said he'd, of course, stop on by after he done worked all day, and we were at this old feller's house for probably about a good hour before he got there. So he pulled up in there, helped us out. We ended up taking the fan off the truck so we could see the bottom of the radiator to see if it was just rusted or wore out or busted or whatever. And of course it was still leaking on down at the bottom, you know. Without my neighbor, he knows all the tricks of the trade. He was just going to bend all the fins if it was high enough and take the fan off, and we was only about maybe 7-8 miles from the house, and just drive slow and get the truck off the road. Well, didn't go so easy. It wasn't that at all. It was looking like it was leaking way further down than what he thought, and wasn't nothing we could do. Truck was broke down. So in the meantime, we're sitting there waiting, figuring out what we're going to do. Could have run back to the house and got a big chain to haul the truck home. And we could have come back home. We had a lock on the trailer. Not on the trailer, on the hitch, because people like to steal hitches around here so dang bad. So we had a lock on it. Of course, hadn't drove the truck in a while. The key wasn't in the truck for the lock. So we'd have had to run home to do that. And then the neighbor would have had to run back out there to us, back and forth, back and forth. And I was like, you know, y'all, it's getting too late. We got to get something figured out here and get this stuff done. And get off the road, get out this man's yard. So in the meantime, while the boys are working on the truck, or the men, they won't be offended. They love me dearly. So I can say the boys if I want to. Feed truck come in at the farm there where we were pulled over. And I got to watch a lovely show of them filling up some wagons that they hauled out to the Black Angus. So that was cool. Oh, you could smell the sweetness of the feed. It smelled so great. I was like in hog heaven. I was on a real farm, a big farm. And I just made the best of it. My husband's like, you know, I wish I could be more like you. You just still cut up and goof off and have fun and think of all the positive and all the good. And I said, how can I not think about all the positive and the good? This old fellow let us pull up in his yard. He told us there's the hose pipe if you need water. And then he even said, if y'all need some tools, I'm sure I can dig around and find some tools for y'all so y'all can get your truck fixed and get back going. So how could I not be finding the positive and just see God's presence all around us, that there are still a lot of wonderful people in this world. This fellow didn't know me. I didn't know him. He was basically a stranger, but he knew I was a country girl. He knew I was headed to get hay, so he didn't feel no threat or no worries or nothing like that. And you know, you can get a feel for people. You can tell what kind of people they are and how they are by just the way they talk and the way they walk and the way they dress, and you can tell once you start talking to someone if they're a good person or not. He didn't feel threatened at all, and we didn't feel threatened at all. We were very comfortable and very thankful and very grateful. So we went on ahead and got a chain that was out in the back of the Iron Giant. We have found a smaller chain, but we felt like it would probably do the job. So we did. The neighbor's truck is a F-150 Ford 4-wheel drive. Ours was a F-350 diesel. The Iron Giant, a tank, and that big old trailer, which didn't have hay on it yet, but still, that truck is a haul and a load to haul. So yeah, we kind of rolled out there looking like hillbillies. It was an exciting adventure. It was so much fun. Nah, just kidding. It's quite scary being hauled. 2 trucks in a row and a big trailer behind it. Yeah, it was a haul. Luckily, we didn't have that far to go, so it wasn't horrible. But then again, I noticed out the rearview mirror, or the side mirror, because I was the passenger. I wasn't driving. Although I've been pulled by my dad when I was a kid. The very first time that I can remember being pulled and being a child. Yes, I think I was 7 to 9 years old. I want to say I was 9 years old. I think when I was 7 was the first time I drove a vehicle completely by myself with my dad sitting beside me. So I think when I was 9 years old, my dad hauled me. My mom was too nervous to get in the driver's seat and let my daddy pull the car home. So I said, sure, I'll do it. You know, I wasn't scared. I was determined. It seemed like a cool thing to do to me, not knowing that, you know, I was only a kid and didn't have a driver's license, and it could have been really bad. But of course, my dad trusted me. He had faith in me. I was the oldest, and he knew I could do it, and I'd do exactly what he wanted me to do and haul me to the house. So I did. I got up in that driver's seat, and he just rolled on out with me and told me what to do, and everything went perfectly fine. Just like us driving home with this 2 trucks in a row, full-size trucks, crew cabs, and the trailer. Just rolled on out. But I noticed another wonderful thing. There was a big old truck coming up behind us, and I was about to be putting buttonholes in the seat, let me tell you. Big old truck coming up behind us. I was about to not be sure what was fixing to happen. But a wonderful thing happened. He slowed down, he saw the flashers, he realized what was happening because he was in a big truck so he could see up over the top. So he just eased on up in behind us and he turned his flashers on for us. He turned his flashers on to aware the people behind him that couldn't see what was in front of them. I thought that was amazing and that was wonderful. You know, he could have just tried to blow by us, which wouldn't have been nowhere for him to pass out there in these little backwood highways, winding and twisting and curving and hills everywhere. So he did a wonderful thing for us. He put his flashers on. He really didn't let nobody pass us because he could see what was happening. And then when it got time for us to make our first main turn off on another little road, we used our hand signals. Yeah, hand signals. And our blinkers. And enough time to where he could tell what was going on, that we was about to make a turn. So he backed way off. He knew we was fixing to turn somewhere. He just kept on backing off, backing off, backing off. To give us all the room and all the space we needed so we could make that turn. And then, oh yeah, we give him a big old hillbilly wave and a couple toots from the horn, and we were smiling, he was smiling. It was just wonderful. So we made it home all right. So next day we called the old guy that we was going to get the hay from and it's like, hey man, we got my neighbor's truck. He can pull us over there with the trailer and we'll come get the hay. You know, thinking it might be a little higher since we wasn't picking it up out the field. And the old guy said, no, we left it out there in the field for y'all. We knew it wasn't going to rain. You can still have it at the same price. Again, that was a wonderful person. They could have jacked that price up. It could have caused them all kind of inconvenience because we weren't able to make it to get the hay. See, there are still wonderful people in this world. So hey, don't forget about all the wonderful things in your life. There are still lots of good things going on in this world, even though it all seems like negative and gloom and doom. Look around you and think about all the wonderful things that you do have and that you still do have. And don't forget to be thankful for those things. And not always just be wrapped up in the worldly stuff and all the bad stuff that's going on in the world. So just a quick little video. This is going to be my walkie-talkie for Wednesday. I hope everyone's doing good. And hey, don't forget to click that subscribe button, like and share, and leave me a friendly comment if you enjoyed my video. So farewell, Homestead neighbors. Let me redo that. So farewell, Homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.